Well, can he? He can.
Yes,
He's
he
gonna show you today. This is the Big Finish at Lincoln Lodge. We're about to get it on the show. So come on, everybody, and get the show on the road.
Let's get it on the road.
Okay, we are rolling.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, and welcome to the Big Finish with Beckett Kenny.
And Jamie Schreiner. We're here at the Lincoln Lodge, and we have a very exciting guest extraordinaire today who actually inspired us to begin with some vocal warm-ups.
Yeah.
It's Ty Riggs, everybody.
Ty Riggs, wow, insert audience applause sound.
Yeah.
So what is your background in singing, Ty?
You
said you were a bass.
Yeah, I was a bass. I did all city chorus in high school. My mom had me doing a lot of different musical stuff, but yeah, when it came to singing, I was at all city chorus in high school. I quit. I was so lazy, which is crazy because I was a bass. There was only 3 of us.
They needed you.
They needed you and you quit?
Yeah, that's how I am.
How many years were you in before you quit, though?
Like 6 months.
You're 6 months in.
Yeah.
But I think because the all city choir is like pretty hardcore. Am I wrong?
A little bit.
Yeah.
It's structured. A lot of the people that are in it are really like very talented group of people, and it was cool to have that opportunity, and I pooped on it. I didn't care. I was like, whatever.
We love shitting on an opportunity.
We love shitting on an opportunity.
I shat on many an opportunity. Looking back, I'm like, I wish I would have learned how to play the fucking piano, and guess what? People told me that I'm gonna want to later, and they were right, and I'm pissed about it. Do you know how to play an instrument?
I only know how to play a couple songs on the keyboard. That's it.
That's pretty good though. Better than me.
Is it like good songs, or are we talking like chopsticks?
No, like what is that? Ode to Joy. I only know like the first little part of that.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like a legitimate song. I feel like I just always play one finger on the piano, just burr, 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 burr. Like that's how I make all my tracks. And I was put in college. We had to take at least one semester of piano as musical theater majors, and everyone else was in the intermediate piano, and I got put in the remedial class.
Not remedial. I got held back in violin, and like I remember I was like, it was about time to do the violin concert, and I like came to my mom, and I started crying to my mom, the violin teacher, and I was like, I did not know this, I cannot fucking do this. And my mom was like, just fucking, when the other people put the bows up, you put the bow up, okay? And then when the other people put the bows down, you put the bow down. Don't touch it, just fake it and smile. And you look at the video, my bow is up when the others are down, and my bow is down when the others are up. I'm like off, but and then they took me out of violin. But why would they start with violin? Like, what a random ass instrument. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
It's like, also, what would I really use that for?
Yeah, if you wanted to be like Fiddler and Fiddler on the Roof, because you're totally getting cast in that show. Or if you were in like I feel like there's all these like actor-musician immersive productions of shows now where everybody has to play one obscure instrument a piece.
Yeah, that is true.
That's when it comes in handy.
Have you ever been in a show, Ty?
Like a production?
Like a musical.
Musical.
No.
I like a reading of Fiddler on the Roof.
You've been in a reading of Fiddler on the Roof?
Yeah.
Whoa.
It was
that's so cool.
It was pretty cool.
Which character were you?
I played the Russian husband.
Whoa.
Perchik, the Christian.
Yeah.
Or was it because there's the learned man that the middle child runs away with, and then there's the Christian man that the youngest child runs away with. Do you remember which one it was?
All I know is we moved out right on time. Everybody else was having problems. Like one of the husbands, like, yeah, I gotta go here for this amount of time, so you stay right there, and I'll be back to get you. And then she had to go meet him. Yeah. You weren't that husband though. No. You're the one who moved out right on time. So you are the radical Christian. Beau, yeah. I'm pretty sure. Shout out to Jesus.
To Jesus.
God bless America.
I'm just like, I was in Fiddler on the Roof too. Twice.
I've never been on Fiddler on the Roof.
I actually love Fiddler on the Roof from being in it.
I've been fiddling in the basement for too long.
You've been fiddling in the basement?
I just feel like I can't make it up to the top of the fiddle world anymore. You know what I mean? You try for so goddamn long.
Matchmaker, make me a role in this show.
Can I say something? The amount of nepotism that goes on in the fiddler world. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. I would have got into fiddler school had it not been for Lavonda Roof. Lavonda Roof, who was of course the son of Fiddler.
Who's on the roof?
Yeah.
Fiddler on the yes, of course.
His name is Fiddler on the Roof.
Yep. And her name is actually her first name I guess is just Love.
Love
on
on the roof.
Did you do anything for St. Patrick's Day?
No.
No. Have you ever celebrated St. Patrick's Day?
When I worked at a bar, I think that's the only way I could celebrate it is because I'm not a drinker like that.
Oh yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
And I don't know if you know or not really a fan of white dog. But
white. Okay, Irish people aren't white. Ty.
They're the whitest.
That's a joke. That's a joke. I'm just gonna say that's a joke. That was a joke. Okay.
But no, I didn't do anything. I don't like crowds. I don't like drinking. I don't like crowds. I was like, just stay out the way.
I get it, but it's part of my heritage. Part of my heritage is drinking in crowds historically.
The thing is like I like to drink and I like a crowd. I think that St. Patrick's Day was ruined for me because my last St. Patrick's Day out was. You remember the St. Patrick's Day before the pandemic? Yeah. The lockdown.
When things were kind of already starting.
Things were already starting, but everybody was like, we're just going to go out anyway. Yeah. So I was working the door at North Bar. Whoa. And it was like somebody got thrown over a table. I got like shoved into the wall. Like I was not qualified to be the door person. I did not have the muscle to handle the situation.
To have you be the door person.
I'm hard of hearing. It's loud. I don't know what people are saying. I'm not really aggressive or confrontational. Yeah. It was not a good fit for me. And I think it made me just be like, I don't think I ever want to be out on this holiday ever again. And I think, you said you're like 75% Irish. I think I'm a quarter.
I'm like 75% Irish.
Yeah, I'm like a quarter Irish.
That means there's some inbreeding.
I'm 10%.
You're 10% Irish?
About 10%. Yeah. My great-grandfather on my mother's side. My mother's, I want to say my mom's side. Yeah. Cool. He was a mariner. And my great-grandmother was a, what was that? What was the word that they used for it other than witch? A doctor. She was a spiritual doctor.
Spiritual doctor, okay.
Whoa.
Yeah, so, Pirates of the Caribbean. Also, the Irish was fucking.
Oh, the Irish be fucking. We are fertile. We will get. The amount of babies, the babies that the Irish have,
and I feel like it's also partially lends itself to the fact that I don't want to generalize about all Irish people, but a lot of Irish people are Catholic, and like with Catholicism, there's like the anti-birth control. Yeah, we're just gonna keep popping them out. Ideology. Yeah.
My friend's older sister, she went to like a Catholic middle school, and they got mad at her because she was a C-section baby.
Damn.
Which is insane.
That is wild
insane
hill to die on. Yeah. I feel like I wish that we could have more holidays that had the same zest of St. Patrick's Day, but like not St. Pat. I wish could St. Patrick's Day that amount of drinking happen for like Arbor Day. Or
whoa!
Make
Arbor Day a drinking holiday.
Yeah, let's make Arbor Day.
If we want to save the fucking trees, give me some drink specials is what I'm saying. I think then all of a sudden I'd be planting.
We plant trees. I think also, what if it was like every drink you buy, 100% of the proceeds go to planting a tree?
I'm kind of in.
You're like I actually every drink I have tonight, I'm like saving the planet. So of course I'm gonna turn all the way up.
We'll bring a whole forest back.
Yeah, we could. Yeah. If we could just make saving the environment a drinking game. That would really, I think, change everything.
Change the whole universe.
Ugh.
Or it could be a smoking holiday. Burn a tree, save a tree.
Yeah, you know what? Not so bad either. Actually, Arbor Day really makes sense as a smoking holiday,
Yeah.
I feel like.
Smoke some tree to save some trees. Yeah, I'm into it. I'm with it.
I am so tired from St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah,
I can.
I
I feel like I'm not
That's
bringing
why
my full self. I feel like I'm like fully drained right now on this podcast, and
That's why I'm like, Beckett, tell us what you did for St. Patrick's Day. I want the play-by-play. What happened?
Okay, well, on Friday I didn't drink at all because
Christian.
You know me,
Angel.
No, I did ketamine.
Damn.
Wait, I've never done that. Tell me how it was. What
Okay,
happened?
so I like describe like like their uppers and their like downers. I feel like ketamine is like sideways.
Damn.
You know what I mean?
Damn.
It's like everything starts to feel kind of like a movie set. You know what I mean? Like the world kind of feels like a green screen. No. I had a good time. But you cannot drink on it. And apparently,
No.
I like looked at like this like chart. This has been like the first like kind of drug. My friends were coming into town and I'm not scared of ketamine because for some reason that's like the only one I'm not scared of.
You're like, let's see. Yeah.
And so this was like my first like drug deal that I ever really did, and like I was like I went to the place and it was like a veterans a place for like veterans, and I walked in and there was just this veteran like sweeping the floor, and he's like in the basement. I'm like, do you guys have an ATM here? And then I had to go somewhere else to get an ATM, and then
you got the ketamine.
I got the ketamine, and then I made the drug dealer promise me there wasn't fentanyl in it.
Oh my God.
Promise me.
I gotta get that pinky swear to be safe. You know what I mean? That pinky swear certification. It's better than the FDA, I think.
Yeah, the pinky swear. Did you stamp it?
No, I didn't. I wish I would have gotten him to. From now on, guys, just make your drug dealer pinky swear. This is better than just say no. Nancy Reagan wishes she could have thought of the pinky swear. That old dead bitch.
Say no to drugs? No. Pinky swear.
Pinky swear that they're not bad for you.
Stamp it.
Yeah. And
that's a PSA. You show a PSA, and then he's like, "Hey kids, you want some drugs?" It was like, "You sure there's nothing bad in them?" Pinky swear.
Pinky swear. Bing, bing.
Make sure you stamp it.
War on drugs. Fentanyl found dead in a river.
Fentanyl, I don't know her because we pinky swore.
Pinky swore.
Look, I don't trust any drug that goes by its government name. All right. If you've been in the game longer than 10 years and you're still going by your government name, I can't fucks with you, dog.
Are you talking about ketamine? People call it K. People call it K.
And they also call it a K-hole. I think that's
K-hole's when you like are in the bad place with it. But like
in a bad place.
If you like take too much of it, you can't move your body. You're just like this.
You're in a K-hole.
Yeah, you're in a K-hole.
The theory of the K-hole is why I've never wanted to do ketamine, just because the first hallucinogenic drug I ever did was salvia in high school because I grew up in Indiana.
Me about this.
Yeah, I feel like I might have already talked about this on the podcast, so I won't get into it too deep. But it was very scary for me, and like the way you're describing ketamine is very similar to like what salvia was like in terms of like it's just so like everything's a movie set, green screen, like it just everything feels so fake.
Yeah, everything feels
in a way
fake,
that's scary.
But to me, it feels like it starts making the world feel quaint in a good way for me. Like it makes things feel like kind of unimportant in a good way. I'm like, oh, everything's a movie. I don't care. You know, it's supposed to be a dissociative. Also, my friend, I didn't know how to text about the drug deal either because I didn't know how to ask the person for it in like a way that was like appropriate or like wouldn't get me like, and so I like capitalized all the K's in the question. I did like some stupid like anagram shit.
He's looking at it like this is definitely not a cop.
And then he said, okay, so which one do you want still afterwards? And I'm like, the one they use for therapy in LA.
The one that it's funny because it's like whenever I've texted to try to get mushrooms, I'm always like, do you have? And like the mushroom emoji question mark, because I'm the same way. I'm like, the government's gonna be watching me. They're tracking my text. I'm just like, they're probably like, I mean, because of social media having access to our phones, they're probably seeing it anyway, but they probably looked at your text and like, oh, this is a little goofy.
There's definitely, I don't know how that works, or like how they get the records, or what they're looking, or like what threshold you have to reach
for them to hunt you down.
Yeah, have to hunt you down. I'm sure I'm far from it.
You have to be getting it from a large scale overseas organization. Yeah, something like that. So it's like, so it would be bigger drugs, because people make shrooms from home.
Right. Mm-hmm. No, shrooms. Yeah, I haven't done. I've done shrooms several times, but I've never like
tripped from it.
Yeah, or like, or even like felt anything from it.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say I have done probably too much at this point. I feel like it's like kind of glitched my brain.
I'll say something else. There's another episode of this podcast where I seem super judgy about drugs, and I there was a while where it felt like everybody in the comedy scene specifically was doing a ton of drugs, like right when I came back from the pandemic, and I'm like, I'm not like totally opposed to drugs, obviously.
I just think I remember that episode. I feel so meta talking about that episode on this episode, but it's the fact that like I was in my Coke era, and Beckett was like, "Yeah, everybody's so crazy," and I was like, "Yeah, totally crazy. I don't." And then I was like left, and I like got in my car. I was like, I need to like the fucking Hillary Duff "Come Clean" song was playing in my head. Like I gotta wash away these bad life choices, you know. Like I gotta clean up my act.
Yeah.
So thank you for calling me out live on air.
You're welcome. And hopefully I'm influencing people on this podcast as well.
That's right. Come clean,
pinky
people.
Swear. Pinky swear.
Put a pinky swear.
Pinky swear. You're gonna go sober.
Stamp it.
You're not gonna. It's not gonna happen any other way.
Yeah.
Hold yourself accountable with a pinky swear.
That's right.
Pinky swear to yourself.
Ooh.
Pinky swear to yourself. Ooh. No. I think anything's fun to try once. I'm not against trying ketamine. I think I just am like, I found one that I like, so I'm like, let me just do mushrooms. Like I know what that is, and I know I like it. So I'm like, I don't know, I need to ramp up anytime soon. Maybe when another global pandemic or like crises happens, and I'm like, fuck it, let's go. Yeah, because that was kind of what I think inspired my first era of random drug use.
I'll tell you this much. I wish I'd known how to take better advantage of the pandemic when it first came around, and I wish we could get one every few months. Not a pandemic, which I mean that could be happening. I don't know. Things are getting worse all the time in so many different ways. But like, I mean, like every few months, I just like, or I've said this before, every 2 months or something, I just would love to be in a hospital bed for like a week. I don't really want a surgery. I just kind of need to just kind of be sitting in the hospital bed and just like doing nothing.
I don't know.
I was gonna say it's so so messed
psycho
up.
On this podcast.
No, but it makes me think of like there's a Saturday Night Live sketch that came out where they were like saying like to get out of like these things you don't want to do, try COVID, and like the punchline was like sometimes you have to get physically sick to get mentally well.
Damn.
And yeah,
that is how I had to get like a throat surgery, an emergency throat surgery recently, and I got like 2 weeks off of work, and I was working at a dentist's office at the time making minimum wage, and then I was able to find a new job in the time that I was sick, and I like came back. My life was changed, and I'm like, I need to go to the hospital, but they are still trying to get me for that ambulance. They made me take an ambulance from the hospital to the emergency room, and now they're trying to charge me for it. And they're like, it's not an emergency. I'm like, you forced me to take the ambulance. They could have driven me.
Or you took an Uber.
I could have taken an Uber. I would have taken an Uber in a second. Would have been cheaper.
Yeah, you're like, what the hell?
An ambulance is a $300 Uber.
Yeah, that's I would say that I would like to ask Ty if there's any takeaways you feel you had from the shutdown. What was your big aha moment, or if it was a different time in your life? It doesn't have to be from the pandemic that we were discussing.
I loved it. Oh my God, the pandemic was amazing. The streets were empty. Nobody bothered me. Yeah, it was pretty dope. And honestly, I was outside every day.
Yeah, I miss outside.
Yeah, it's
starting to get more available to be outside again in Chicago.
Oh, I don't want to be outside no more. Now that everybody else is outside, yeah. See, all these secret things that I was going to throughout like the pandemic or whatever, I was really breaking the rules. I went to 2 stripper parties within 2 weekends. One was good, one was all right.
Was it the first one good and the second one all right?
Yeah. The first one was good because it was all girls and they had girl strippers. And I was like, it was me and probably like 3-4 other dudes there. And we were having a good old time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the second one, why was the second one mid?
The second one was mid because it was a guy friend's birthday party. And I don't know. When you bring in dudes into the mix and then you got the strippers, it's just not, yeah.
It feels less like a hang and more like a...
Yeah.
Like a grimy, cringy experience. Yeah.
Something I've always wanted to go to a straight strip club. I still haven't been.
I've
been to one gay strip club, which I will tell you what is the people watching event of the century, because it's funny because there are naked gay men in everything gay men do. Like, you don't have to go to specifically a naked gay strip club. Like, there are like strippers at like most gay clubs. Do you know what I mean? Just like
yeah.
But by making it a gay strip club specifically, it becomes something a little like grimier all of a sudden. It is a fascinating environment, Lucky Horseshoe. But I would love to go to like a straight strip club. There's like one.
Oh, I get free tickets.
Yeah, I will go to a straight strip club with you.
Where do you get free tickets to?
I get free tickets to Polecats and Gold Room. They're both a part of the same like text thread thingy.
Oh, text thread.
I signed up for it, and then like they'll like text me on random weekends whenever there's a fight or whenever there's like a special night. It's like, yeah, you and your friends could get them for free.
Yeah.
And
why do they text you when there's a fight at the strip club?
Well, not a fight, but like, you know, a UFC fight.
Oh, I thought that they were just updating you anytime like 2 people got in. They're like, hey, we had another fight, so we're lowering our ticket prices.
That'd
like,
be lit. That would be lit. I like, hell yeah.
Hey, someone threw up in the strip club, so we're gonna give you a coupon. You know, I kind of like that business model. Just the honesty, like we're desperate right now.
Just please come. Just please come over here. No, I mean, I've been to a lot of strip clubs. I feel like mainly just because in Indiana, when you turn 18, there's not a lot to do for those like however many years until you're 20. And so you can go to the strip club and a lot, I mean, I'm giving away my misdeeds of the past. There's many, but this is just one of them.
Okay.
A lot of these strip clubs, if you go with somebody who's 21, they can usually get you drinks and just bring them over to you, and you can just drink them even though you're not 21.
Oh, that is nice. I was just talking about how when I went to New Orleans, no one carded me when I was like a kid. No one seemed to give a fuck in New Orleans.
I feel like that's very New Orleans when I hear that. Yeah.
Have you ever been to New Orleans?
No.
I think you would like it.
I feel like you would like New Orleans.
Because it's not all drinking all the time. There is room for like just going and enjoying music or like enjoying a vibe, or like I would say definitely I would not say go during Mardi Gras or Jazz Fest or New Year's Eve. Like you got to go during a time, because it's always busy, but you don't want to go when it's like the most crowded it's ever gonna be.
Yeah. Okay.
Like that would not be something you would like. But no, I love New Orleans. I feel like it's Vegas for witchy bitches. Like people who are into the occult, you know?
No, New Orleans is Vegas for ghosts. Yeah,
yeah, it's Vegas for the ghosts.
New Orleans is a setting for one of the Candyman movies.
Really?
I think it was 3.
I haven't seen the Candyman movies. Is the new one good?
If you're a fan of the franchise, I want to say, because it kind of brings everything back full circle. It explains like the legend of Candyman, and also scares the shit out of you because now you're looking in mirrors all crazy.
Yeah. No, people I know in my life are scared of mirrors because of Candyman. I went through a phase where I was obsessed with Bloody Mary in like 4th grade because I did it once and then like the lights flickered. And I was like, that timing made me be like, whoa! I'm like, this ghost is haunting me.
Oh, no.
You know, I've never been scared to like play with Ouija boards or anything.
You've never been scared of that?
Literally, everyone's like, you can't fucking do that. No. Everyone believes in Ouija boards for some reason. That's the one thing that no one seems to like think is fake.
Countries have banned it.
I know, it's insane.
And the crazy thing is, it is an actual ritualistic communication board with the other side. And Milton Bradley made it a children's game.
I live for that.
So fucked. And like, no, I'm scared of Ouija boards just because of like all the true crime podcasts I listen to, but also like all of those podcasts are why in a conversation with people I just met when they're talking about their fears, I was like, oh, I heard on this podcast once about this veterinarian who has a fear of being buried alive because somebody came into her practice with a dog that had been euthanized, but it wasn't properly euthanized, and so it dug itself out of its grave, and the people came back from vacation and it was on the porch just waiting for them. And then I was just like, oh shit, I shouldn't have said that in a regular conversation with people, but it was on a podcast.
Yeah. That's not a regular conversation then. So I say tear it out. I'll say that's pretty Kill Bill of that dog
doggy,
to like
right?
fucking dig its way out of the grave. I don't think I could do that.
I don't think I could do
I mean,
that.
depending on how deep.
Yeah, they were probably lazy about it. It wasn't a whole 6 feet.
Yeah, I don't
like
think
3 or so.
It's just like, yeah. Because you could imagine for a second, you're like, is my dog like rose from the dead? And then they go to the grave and it's like the body bag's like ripped. Or like, I think at first they were just like, oh, another dog that looks like our dog came here. And they went to the grave and it was like the body bag is like ripped open and like the dog had dug itself out.
I don't know if this is a real thing or something they made up for scary stories, but have you heard those stories of like back in the olden days when they didn't know like if people were really dead all the time? Like sometimes
they just put them in a box and put them in the ground.
Yeah, put like a
The
bell.
yeah,
so
that's
that like
real.
you could like.
No, that's real.
And then like sometimes like legend has it that like I remember hearing a scary story that the bell was like on the ground and then like they opened the coffin and they like scratched their nails off and you know shit like that.
Yeah, I don't know if that one might just be a scary story, but I do know they definitely put the bells in there because it was a real thing that like just medicine wasn't advanced enough that sometimes they did just bury people alive and
just in case.
Yeah, just in case they buried somebody alive, so they could be like, "Hey, I'm in here, let me out."
I love that. That's like just in case is like. I think it's better to just put them in there, you know, and then
forget about them.
Let them figure it out. I like we got other things to do. Like we can't be sitting around, you know, with this.
You should have woke up when we moved your body.
T.
I need you to pinky promise.
I need you to
that if I pass away, you will put a bell in my coffin. None of that cutting the corners. I need a bell.
Honey, you're going straight in the oven. You're going straight in the oven. Where do you want me to spread your ashes, bitch?
Put the bell in.
I'll put a bell around the pot that you're in.
like a little cow necklace, like the necklace.
Ring a ding ding.
No, actually, I joke all the time with Tom that when I pass away, if I pass away before him, I'm gonna leave him a list of places to scatter my ashes, but I'm gonna organize it not geographically conveniently, so it'll be like you have to be in India, then you have to go to Chicago. Now you're in South. Yeah, like just make his life very difficult and say if you don't do it by the instructions, I'm gonna haunt you. Like I'm just gonna come back and just bah.
T.
Yeah.
Do you think there's anything that you're gonna haunt people over when you're dead? I'm trying to think if there's anything that I feel is worth haunting in my life right now. If I died, I'm like,
I don't think I'm haunting right now.
I got to see the top of Willis Tower. I'm gonna haunt the bean.
You're gonna haunt the bean.
Yep.
Oh, like somebody's looking at the reflection
and then all of a sudden it's like
there has to be more to the afterlife. I don't know.
I feel like I don't necessarily think I would haunt. I could see them making me stick around to like wrap somebody else's life up that's close to me. I'm sorry. Like
I thought you were like I can see them making me stick around to like rap. Like you're like the ghost rapper. Like
in the studio.
You're like they need some help on some rhymes. Like still like the rappers on the Ouija board. Like what rhymes with fat ass?
Yes, exactly.
I need a rap about cows. Stat.
Oh, that would be a funny movie.
That would be
like a struggling rapper has a hard time, and the spirit of one of his exes, which was a little thick white girl, helps him rap with rhymes and shit. It's like Sixth Man.
Oh no,
that would be amazing.
Yeah,
Hollywood. Come on.
Why are you not making
they ain't got it,
gold?
They don't get it. It's
got to be a comic book first.
That I always wanted to be not always. That was one of the jobs that probably top 3 all-time like jobs I wanted in my life was to be like a comic book writer.
I get it. I dig it.
Were you into comic books?
Yeah.
Yeah. What is your comic book?
Deadpool.
Center. God, gotcha.
Yeah.
Deadpool is good.
He's fun. And everything he does ties the universe together on a bigger scale.
Mm-hmm.
And it's fun. I like it.
Yeah. Deadpool's the best.
I was gonna say, do you feel happy with the choice of it's Ryan Reynolds who plays Deadpool, right? Do you think I think it
perfect.
fits because I was like, perfect. I'm not a fan of the like. I've seen a lot of the movies, but I haven't read the actual comics, so that's why I was just like wondering, from your point of view, was it the right choice? Because I personally, as a passive viewer, love him in that role.
Oh yeah, he's the perfect choice. His voice, the way he acts, like even in his other movies, like him being Deadpool makes sense.
Yeah.
And as a fan of Deadpool, seeing it and hearing it, it's good.
Yeah.
I have an Uber driver who swears to me that like the perfect person to have played Wolverine, they're too old now, but like was a young Robert De Niro.
I don't hate it.
He was like Wolverine needs to be like a short, stouty, like gruff man, and that like young Robert De Niro was Wolverine, blah blah blah, and that was his whole. We were in the car. That was the main take I really remember, was the Robert De Niro Wolverine, which I think actually makes sense. Hugh Jackman in many ways is kind of a left field choice. It's like his most iconic role, and he's a great actor, and I think he does a great job, but like that's definitely like not actually his type in so many ways. You know what I mean? Like he's very much
tall and handsome.
Gay. He's gay.
I'm sorry. It just makes me laugh because it's like Hugh Jackman was one of my first crushes, and Clay Aiken was also one of my first crushes, and I think that there's a through line.
The signs are adding up. The signs are adding up.
And then one of my first boyfriends took me to Britney Spears concert. Didn't put 2 and 2 together that he was gay. He's now happily married to a man, and
damn.
I think,
I also I get this commercial all the time, which when you get a commercial, you don't expect the people around you to have necessarily gotten it. Do you know what I'm saying? Like it used to be like, that commercial, and it's like I don't know if people are getting the same ads, but I get this ad with Neil Patrick Harris and his husband all the time. And their kids. Okay, yeah, they're marketing towards me because I'm gay. Clearly,
Is it Hulu?
Maybe it's Hulu.
See, I don't.
That one might be a bit. That one I can't ever tell if they're big ones or ones that are just
targeting you.
Yeah, Hulu is just for you. It's always been like that, even when it was free.
Yeah,
I have no ads. I will pay that extra $7 so I do not have to see ads.
No, it's not a Hulu ad. Well, I thought it was maybe a Hulu ad, but it wasn't
an ad for
one
Hulu.
I see on Hulu.
Ad on Hulu.
My parents pay for Hulu, and that's my blessing, and they aren't paying for the ads, which honestly, I'm okay with the ad situation for most things, but luckily I don't have to consider that for Hulu. But I sit there and I'm like, do Neil Patrick Harris and his husband have an open relationship? I wonder about like which celebrities maybe have an open relationship. Like, do you think Jada Pinkett Smith and Will Smith really had one?
Yeah, always.
Yeah, I think they do because when they talked about it on the on the show, right? The Red Table.
Red Table Talk, yeah.
Yeah.
It's always been known that they had an understanding.
Yeah.
You know? And what's crazy is whenever Will uses that option, nobody really talks about it. Nobody really thinks about it. But when Jada does it, a bunch of terrible shit happens. Like, things fall apart.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it is fucked up. But it's like... That's the good thing about being gay is it's not like those standards of like those double standards of like men versus women of like oh well the man can do it because that's like men cheat and then like a woman does it and it's like disrespectful to her husband because she's like, but it's like if you're a hot huge Hollywood celebrity I feel like it makes sense to be in an open relationship, you know what I mean?
I feel like I don't want to like.
Have you ever done an open relationship, Ty?
No.
Monogamy only?
Yeah, if I get in a relationship with somebody, it's monogamous. Because I could just be fucking around, if that's the case.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of the perk.
That's kind of the whole thing.
It's kind of the whole point.
Yeah.
But I've actually only done monogamous, but I've only done one relationship. So.
Yeah.
Love.
I mean, as we've talked on this podcast before, I have dabbled in the ethically non-monogamous lifestyle. I do think
Poly alert. Poly want a cracker.
No, the only thing I was gonna add is like I think Dax Shepard and Kristen Bell might
really
be. I don't know.
That makes sense.
I don't want to misspeak, but I think I heard that on a podcast.
No, I was actually hoping when I asked you had an open relationship, you guys would make some more people up.
Just like start throwing some in. Oh, actually, Bert and Ernie. From what I heard,
totally.
Yeah,
I bet that's true.
They're hanging out in that trash can with Oscar from time to time. they're fucking in the street.
I was gonna say that I think that they would be like schlepping it up, maybe like doing some kind of weird, put the keys in the bowl situation with like the guys in the like
the monsters,
in the balcony.
Elmo, Zoe, Snuffleupagus.
Yeah.
Oh, the balcony guys from the Muppets.
Oh,
yeah, I said the balcony guys.
Damn, so you telling me that they're just mixing brands? Sesame Street goes over to the
to the Muppets.
To the Muppets.
Do you know the Sesame Street people are Muppets too, technically?
Yeah, technically.
But I don't think of them as the same thing. You know what I mean? It's just like it's hard to process that Elmo and Kermit are like
related
from the same world. I do love the cameo of Big Bird in the original Muppet movie, where it's like they're going to LA and they see Big Bird walking on the side of the road and they're like, oh, do you want to get in the car? We're going to LA. And Big Bird's like, nope, I'm on my way to New York to start a career in public television. And it's like so perfect because it's like, yeah, it's one of those moments where it's like they're in the same family, but they're like such distant relatives. Yeah, I don't know, because I wasn't raised on Sesame Street. I wasn't a Sesame Street kid, but I was a Muppets kid. So I think that's why it's like, it's almost like the family members that you like know you're related to, but you only catch up once a year and you don't have anything in common. You're like, if I was not related to this person by blood, we would not talk. Like we would not. That's what I feel like the Muppets and Sesame Street are, in my opinion.
Step cousins.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I feel like the Muppets like. I feel like the Sesame Street Muppets judge like the regular Muppets and think they're like vulgar. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I feel like they think that they're better than them.
Like that Gonzo. I don't like his jokes.
Yeah. There's
Yeah, they're like, oh, Miss Piggy's showing a little bit too much skin. It's like
Yeah.
Big Bird, you're literally naked all the time.
Pork skin.
And she hits her boyfriend. A lot of domestic abuse in that.
The Muppets in general, like, especially if you watch the show from in the 70s, like all of the punchlines are Hollywood starlets hitting on Kermit and Miss Piggy getting upset and just physical violence. Like every gag is just physical violence for the whole show, which is just funny. Like the Muppets hasn't aged well when you're sitting down to watch it, and at the beginning of the episode Disney puts on this like Disney.com/history, and they're like, this episode contains culturally insensitive themes. Like, we're just making you aware before you watch the episode so that you know it's coming. But like, we decided to still include this on the platform for cultural significance. And then they have like a website you can go to like get the details. But I've had a few episodes that I was like, let's see what it is. And then I was like, saw something that was maybe a little bit sus. And I was like, oh, that's not that. And then it gets to the actual thing and you're like, oh no, like they put that on TV at 7:00.
Not as much with that disclaimer, but whenever I see like a show that like contains like self-harm or suicide themes, and then their like whole way to address it is like just putting like the suicide hotline number at the end, I'm like, they don't care. Like they don't care what happens to these people who watch this movie, because I feel like putting the suicide hotline, that's like a way to get out of legal trouble to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it doesn't
Because
feel...
somebody will blame it. It was like, oh, they were a fan of this show and they saw it happen and they wanted to do it too. I never saw suicide on a show and was like, hell yeah.
That's how I'm gonna do it. Yeah, like I think also it's like, I know that they put the trigger warning at the beginning of things, but it's so quick and it's in that corner, and you at least for me, I usually miss it. Like I think of the one that was with Mila Kunis recently, that movie on Netflix. It's like awful depiction of sexual assault, really? And the warning is like 2 seconds at the beginning, and so I just didn't know it was coming. And then I was
careful,
like,
something's about to go crazy.
oh wow, like it would have been nice to know before I sat down to watch this that this was gonna happen, so I don't know what the solution is. I just do think that like the thing at the end and the quick thing at the beginning, it's like covering your ass, not actually telling us what's going on.
Maybe we just need like every time, like every movie there's like a terrible scene like that, we need like someone to fall down the flight of stairs in like a funny way, like later in the movie. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like we have this horrible traumatic moment, and then later we have someone go, boing, boing, gong, boing, ging, gong, boing, gong, ging, gong. Like
Yeah, I think like,
and then like it honestly like, I feel
it
like
alleviates the pain.
I feel like if we saw somebody like fall down a flight of stairs once a day, like that would kind of, I don't think we'd see as high of suicide rates. I don't think we'd be seeing the school. I think that if we did kind of like a Mayan sacrifice every day, where we got something to go to the top of like a pyramid, and then in front of like the whole town just kind of go, boy.
I mean, there are Instagrams dedicated to people falling down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you have a sad friend, send them a video of somebody falling down.
I think one of the greatest pieces of comedy in history is Grape Lady Falls.
Have you seen the video? There's been videos recently on TikTok. It's like there'll be a kid in the backseat with like 8 giant cups of water, and they're like, what's happening? Oh no. And the driver will whip the car really quick and the water will just go out.
Yeah.
It's so...
I think I saw that video. There was the one where they had a lady in there and she was holding the cups, and then they put mice all on her.
No,
Yeah.
That one's evil. That's bullying. The water one's funny. The mice is just... There's a line.
Animals are bullying.
Animals, bullying. Insects, maybe you're a contestant on Survivor, maybe it's bullying.
No,
okay,
insects is terrorism.
I just saw this tweet. Insects are terrorism too. No, I agree. That's really bad. I do not know. I thought about this. I'm like, what would it take for me to like do a show like Fear Factor? Because I don't think I could ever do that. Mm-hmm. That's not how I'm set up personally. That's not my like. Like there are a lot of things I feel like I could endure, like but like bugs and like snakes is the thing I'm most scared of. I'm so fucking naturally scared of snakes.
Yeah, they're not for me. I was gonna ask, what's your biggest fear, Ty?
I don't like talking about it because then people will try.
I get that. I get nervous about that too. Of like, I don't want to put that evidence out there.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm scared of the dark a little bit, but it's more of what's in the dark.
Right.
That's fair. That's
fair.
You
know, like pitch blackness. I can't see where I'm at. I don't want to hurt myself. Shit, I don't know who the fuck made it this dark in this room. Who is in here?
Yeah. Sometimes it's just like, sometimes you forget how dark it can get until like you're in a room without windows and you're like, oh fuck, it's dark.
Yeah.
My like, now I'm bringing back memories though of, these are people who don't like me now.
No.
But I used to have these friends, and they had like a little secret compartment in their basement behind a bookshelf. Apparently, the house used to be owned by like bootleggers once upon a time. So they're we would play like I can't remember what it's like.
Hide and seek?
No, it was like tag, but in the dark. But it was like there was like some kind of twist to it where there was like you have to count to 3 and then touch somebody's shoulder or something. Like, I don't know. Mm-hmm. I played it too aggressively. I'm too competitive in these games where I'll often, like, end up pissing somebody off or, like, pushing somebody down or something. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, you take it a little too far.
I take it too far, and they... But it was a fun game.
And you just pop out of the thing? Just go,
yeah. I like to spook. I'm a little troublemaker.
You little rabble-rouser?
I'm a rabble-rouser.
I do think this transition could have been better, but I do think it's time. It's that time where we do the song.
Wow.
Time flies when you're
when you're having fun.
I was gonna say when you're burning fumes.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm on my lowest energy. But I think this is my.
This is like us just showing our real selves. This is for the real fans. This episode.
Yeah.
Sometimes we're not on 100% energy.
And you guys would choose to do that with Mom on the show.
I know, it's like the chill podcast for Ty. I do want to. I remember this one time hosting for you, and I think I've told stories before, but I was like, if you guys think I have a ton of energy, like wait for your next comedian, Ty Riggs.
That's you're a mischief maker.
Yeah, you knew me, impish. Okay, all right.
Drugs are okay if they pinky promise that they don't have anything bad in them. Drugs are okay if they pinky promise that they don't have anything bad in them. Drugs are okay if they pinky promise that they don't have anything bad in them. Drugs are okay if they pinky promise that they don't have anything bad in them.
Oh, if you pinky promise that you don't have any fentanyl, then I'll put it up my nose. If you pinky promise it, oh, it's a pinky, it's the perfect size for a nose. Sometimes index fingers can be a little big, and we don't want to damage the inside of our noses because that's where the drugs go. And they can already kind of cut things up. I don't advocate for drugs, but if you're gonna do it, FDA approve it with a pinky promise. Not really. Let's go. Bang.
Yeah.
Pinky promise. Drugs are okay if you pinky promise that they don't have anything bad in them. Drugs are okay if you pinky promise that they don't have anything bad in them.
Hey.
Go.
Sorry.
Well, I like drugs, and I hope you do too.
Yeah.
And if you got some drugs on you, I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna do.
What's that gonna do?
I'ma buy them off you. I'll probably haggle a bit. I'm gonna take them drugs, and I'm gonna smoke that little shit, and I'm gonna get high as hell. Baby, what's that smell?
Woo! Drugs are okay if you pinky promise. What's that smell?
Don't have
anything bad in them. Drugs are okay if you pinky promise.
Don't have anything bad in them. Drugs are okay if you pinky promise that they don't have anything bad in them. Drugs are okay if you pinky promise that they don't have
Don't have
no crosses count.
Ty, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Ty.
Thank you.
Can you let the people who are listening know where they can find you on the internet?
Cool. I do my promotion voice. Follow me on all social media platforms at TYRIGGSYALL at Ty Riggs, y'all. Thank you.
Yay!
Yay!
We
Thank
gotta give it up one more time for our amazing pianist. It's Beckett and Jamie. Everybody, woo, 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 killing it on the keys. And of course, our amazing producer, Miss Chrissy Ferreira, in the booth with us here at the Lincoln Lodge. Y'all, we will be back next week. We love you. Thank you for tuning in.
Thank you.
Whoop, whoop.
Whoop, whoop. This is the big finish at Lincoln Lodge. We're about to get it on the show. So come on, everybody, and get the show on the road.
Let's get it on the road.